And alright, after all the trials and tribulations of Michelle and Giselle's, like, 1,000-year struggle, they're finally together, and it seems like they both gotten over, or at least, for the most part, gotten over their past trauma and now understand each other. But we can't leave yet. Apparently, there's one more person we also need to leave with, apparently. I assume it's Morgana, right? Right behind this door. That's what we need to do. Also, another thing, by the way, this is like a new recording session. Something I thought about, like, in between the sessions, like, just like at nighttime, it just kept me up, when I was sleeping or I was lying my head on my bed. It kept me up. I was thinking about how, like, what is Michelle's condition, right? When you think about it. Because I said it before, and it's a little insensitive when I think about it, but I said how, like, he's a Ken doll down there, which makes no sense, That I only assume that because everyone else in that scene when he reviewed himself was saying, oh, well, he doesn't have a boy part, but he also doesn't have a girl part, or whatever. And I assume there was, like, nothing there. That doesn't make any sense, because how does he pee? How does he go to the washroom if that's the case? I mean, technically, in modern times you can, if you get, like, I don't know what you call it, like a colonscopy bag? I don't know how you pronounce it. Colonscopy? I don't know. Anyway, it's like a little thing where you don't need to, I guess, go to the washroom in a traditional way. If you can't, then doctors can give you a special device where you could do it another way, let's just say, just to summarize, but they don't have that, in back then. So he has to have something, right? So I don't know, maybe it's like a translation thing, or like the people, in the universe, maybe it's intentional, they're just incredibly ignorant, they only see it one way or the other. So maybe there is something there, but they just assume that's not, I don't know. There's something. At least, back in Michelle's old body when he was still alive, there was something there, and people just assumed there was something else, or I don't know. There's still gotta be something. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Michelle's crotch, but anyway, whatever. But instead of dwelling on that, let's go behind this door, I assume? I don't know, we'll see. Giselle. Reality fades back into view. I'm looking at neither the endless eroding darkness nor the visions of my past, but a sea of blood spreading in all directions. Oops, I didn't mean that. No, try again. This menu is, I don't know, it looks neat, but sometimes I want to click here, right? But then it pops up the menu. That's why I gotta use the keyboard. I remember to use the keyboard. I'm looking at neither the endless eroding darkness nor the visions of my past, the sea of blood spreading in all directions. I'm standing at the top of the observation tower outside the door. I've returned. Back in Morgana's world, her bitter, hate-filled, curse-fueled world. To tell you the truth, I didn't see this coming. This is my mansion. My domain. She was supposed to be locked up, but it would seem my will is not as absolute as I had thought. What would you call that? The power of love? And it's funny because it's kind of the theme of this entire game, the power of love, but also, obviously, it gets twisted. Is that what allowed this to happen? Outright. Where's the magic, the miracle? I can think of one other reason she was able to escape. It's the only way we're able to find the power we need to cast off the darkness of this house. But first, before we do anything else, we must open this door. Whatever nonsense that woman filled your head with, it certainly seems to put some fight to those eyes. Well, good for you, my dear. A little confidence boost doesn't erase the fact that you were on the ground, crawling through the filth like a worm, tears streaming down your face as you try to ignore what lay before you. A little self-esteem isn't going to make you any less helpless when you step through that door. But that won't stop me from trying. I'm done acting like you're some inevitability, some force of nature. It's time for me to take a stand, Morgana. The air around the door has a distinct chill to it as I place my hand against the wood surface. My arms, once bloody and lacerated, are now whole again. I can feel my entire body, everything back in its rightful place. I take in a breath, lift my head, focus my gaze on the door, and push it open. Resting at the back of my hand, I can feel another palm, soft and warm. Through the single window sitting high atop the wall shines a ray of light. A black butterfly flutters within the beam. Its form is indistinct, wavering like a mirage as it slowly descends to the tower floor. And then from within the darkness, a person appears. Hi. Is that you, Morgana? How's it feel to finally meet the real thing, my dear? I knew you were young, but you really are still a child. Having heard her tale, I know she's died still a girl, and I know how she came to bear so much hatred for the world. But knowing and seeing are two very different things. The sight of her bony adolescent body is a painful reminder that she never had a chance to know happiness, to know adulthood, before being robbed of her life. I'd assume monster would be your first reaction. With a face and a body like this. I don't know. It's kind of cool. You're like a necromancer, like a RPG game. Your teeth, I don't know, is your teeth are still there, I guess. I was thinking she might be missing some teeth there. I mean, it would be the case if you would be malnourished and also just losing blood most of your entire life. You'd probably be losing teeth at some point. Anyway. How very sweet of you, Michelle. So tell me, what exactly do you mean to do now that you're here? Your ultimate goal was, as I understood it, to take Giselle back. But she's no longer here for me to return to you. She broke out of my cage, and exhausted what remained of her soul to show herself to you. I cannot perceive even the trace of her presence any longer, so I presume her soul shattered, dissipated into nothing. No, she's right here beside me. Is that so? You seem to believe as much anyway, which only makes your presence here a bigger mystery. I know. You want revenge. I made you miserable while you were alive, and I continue to torment you in death. You entrusted me with Giselle's life, and I used it for my own ends. You must despise me. Hatred fills you. You want to curse me, to kill me. Okay, now she's like Emperor Palpatine, you know. Hatred fills you. Kill me. My death could well mean the end of all this. Shall I grant you that wish? She flicks a finger. She is, I was gonna say, she is missing an arm, by the way. That makes sense, obviously. I was thinking, like, which arm was she missing? Because I was thinking maybe the bony one, but that makes sense because they cut that off a long time ago. So she is missing one arm. Anyway, and next second, a longsword clatters to the floor at my feet. Ooh. How much attack does it do? You know, how much DPS does this longsword have? Take the blade in your hands like the knight of old who executed the witch. Pierce my heart with it. Do now what should have happened then. You always wanted to be a knight, didn't you? Go on, pick it up. Show me your revulsion, my dear. Morgana, I do have a reason for being here. I came to save you. Did you hit your head on the way up? You came to save who? I spent so long trying to look away, when I should have been trying to look deeper. To tell you the truth, your constant chattering in the darkness evoked more than annoyance in me. I emphasized, for your loneliness. I bear no hatred for you. It was my despair that brought you back to life, so that makes it my responsibility to end this. My own wish has given me all the redemption I need, my dear. Or should I be expecting another self-righteous lecture about how hatred does you no good? Brilliant, Michelle, brilliant. Do you have any idea how absurdly presumptuous you're being? Trying to force your idea of redemption onto someone who has no interest in it. If the tale you showed me was the whole truth, then I would have said you could revile those heartless men as much as you please. But I refuse to believe that's the whole story. The men I saw beyond the first 3 doors had genuine concerns and worries. They felt things, really human emotions, even if those things ultimately led them down a path of destruction. Wanting to do something nice for the one you care about, being disgusted at things you've done, hiding your urges from those around you. You certainly couldn't call them good men, but they were real people, real conflicts. So you're saying I'm lying? Well, I can't say I blame you. Who would believe the word of a witch? I don't think you falsified your account, Morgana. The tragedy, no, the grisly reality you described, I don't doubt any of that happened. You wouldn't be here otherwise. But I've learned something in my years. Reality exists from more than one perspective. That doesn't change what happened. That two-faced young man deceived me, the beast severed my arm, and the greedy, power-hungry lord used me for his own personal gain. Events by themselves do not tell the whole story. Only when you take into account their circumstances, what they thought and felt, their perspectives, only then can you say you've reached the truth. Your point being, are you gonna march down to where their souls are and ask them for their perspective? Don't waste your breath. They'll only tell you what benefits themselves the most. Then we do it our way. We open the door to your past. And if I refuse, this is my domain, my world. It operates in accordance to my will. The door won't open unless I allow it to. Were you aware, Morgana, that I recovered my first memory in front of a mirror? You what? The same mirror Giselle used to practice her smile. And all those hundreds of years, bits of her memory came to reside within it. Every time she stood before that mirror, she had me in her heart. And next, I saw one of my own memories play out in my bedchamber. It was the first day after we opened the windows when she let the morning sun into my room. That day was a turning point in my life. And why are you telling me this? Because it means this world doesn't belong only to you. It's also hers. And mine. And that is why she was able to break free. Your wish is without question the most powerful of anyone here. You have more authority over this place than anyone else. There's no denying your position as a master of this mansion. But Giselle and I, we too have influence over this domain. I was the one who resurrected you, and she who served as your guide. So the door will appear, whether or not it is your will. Their souls reside here as well. They may spin convenient tales, but the memories engraved upon their souls can tell no lies. All the pieces are on the board. The door will open. Say the door does open. What does that change? Nothing those men may have thought or felt could take back what they did to me. This rotting, broken creature they turned me into. I don't care what was going through their heads. They will never have my forgiveness. My hatred is unwavering. My wish will not be undone so easily. Their souls shall suffer for all eternity. Before we begin, Morgana, let's get one last lingering question out of the way. And what might that be? Who the white-haired girl is? That's interesting, because I definitely had a hypothesis about that too. I'm like, wait a minute. Because I think I know what Michelle's saying about, or where Michelle's like taking this, I guess. Anyway, that's your lingering question. We've already established. That was you, Morgana. He's just saying it. So in a desperate plea to deny you came back as a woman, you're now trying to make me into her? That's perhaps the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. That was you, my dear. Don't avert your eyes. You must face reality. I'm not averting my eyes, and I'm not in denial. I have faith. Faith that I only ever made it back to this mansion once, when I awoke in the rocking chair beside the fireplace. Nevertheless, that hardly justifies accusing me of being that foolish girl. How could you possibly think I was her? Never have I not been present in these walls, not even while she was alive and in the claws of tragedy. My hair is not white, nor my eyes red, and look at this horrid festering face. How could I ever become her? How your soul appears is irrelevant in this case, Morgana. or in this case. It sounds like I'm just like a trial, actually a court case. Rather, no, it's like in this case, I guess. It doesn't appear, but I will uncover the truth about you. Things even you don't know. And if I can show you that you were in fact the white-haired girl, in that moment will your reality be rewritten. If you're so confident, then be my guest. Find out for yourself just how little you're capable of. Okay. So I was thinking about that too. I don't know if I said it before, but my other hypothesis definitely... I say hypothesis. No, it sounds like it's scientific, but no. My theory, I guess, was the fact that, yeah, Morgana was also the white-haired girl. I was thinking, like, in the very beginning, not very beginning, but like one of the endings that we got, the bad ending, we saw Michelle in the modern world as well as the white-haired girl. From the perspective of her, how is that possible if Michelle was a white-haired girl? There has to be someone else. I guess it's Morgana. Morgana was the one pretending to be white-haired girl this entire time. I even said in the beginning, though, I always suspected the white-haired girl to be the witch. And that's, I guess, technically true. Because maybe she was pretending to be the white-haired girl to maybe fulfill some kind of thing, I don't know. Like I assume Michelle is like saying like she has other desires beyond revenge. She actually maybe sort of does want to like fall in love or stuff like that, right? I don't know. And it makes sense because the white-haired girl, every time she always disappears. She died in Yukimasa's story, but otherwise in Mel's and like what's his face, Jacopo's story, every time the white-haired girl like leaves, she's just gone forever, and they can't find her, probably because she's somehow connected to Morgana. Maybe that's what I'm thinking anyway. Anyway, blackness fills the observation tower once more. Morgana fades into the distance, leaving me alone in the dark stream. Into darkness I have seen, felt, and been consumed by numerous times since arriving in the mansion. But this time I welcome it, praying that beyond it lies the truth and the power to release all from the house's grip. This next tale has no narrator. Wait, but I'm the narrator. You don't know me, the person playing this game? How am I supposed to narrate if there's no narrator? I won't sit back and listen as someone recounts the path of fate for me. No. I have to find the path for myself this time. I don't know what awaits me beyond the black, but no matter what it may be, so long as I have the power to provide redemption, I must never put down my sword. I assume that's a metaphorical sword, but we do have a literal sword as well. Didn't she give us a sword? Have it in our inventory. Now, let us open the door. The final door. The final door? The final door. Because we said that multiple times already. We opened the final door. As it turns out, that's not the final door. Okay, final door. Turns out this is the final door. It's never over. The game never ends. It's not a bad thing. I'm gonna be honest, the pacing in this game, it's pretty slow, just in general because it's a visual novel, but definitely better than other visual novels I've played. Other like narrative-driven stories or games or whatever definitely are much slower, with way more exposition, which I don't like. But this one doesn't drag on too long. It's a little slow in the beginning, but well, I like it for the most part. But anyway. So this is the final door, apparently. Question mark. So I assume this is Morgana's story, which is interesting. I said before, like, the first time we learned about Morgana's story, everything was told from, like, from just kind of, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, a little boring, because it's just told from, like, a, third-person perspective. She's just telling you everything, but now maybe we do see some of it in first person, which is great, because that's exactly what I wanted, right? Exactly what I said I wanted. But, well, let's see. I brought you some food, okay? Man's voice. I assume this is when she was in prison. You have to eat something. You barely touched your food yesterday. Come on, please. Just leave it there. Her hands aren't bound. She can eat whatever she pleases. But she's not going to last much longer. The boy has a point. If you won't eat, we lose our supply of blood. I'm not sure. I assume these are the three men. I'm not sure who's 2 and 3. Either Yukimasa or Jacopo, or, the equivalent anyway. The first one is probably Mel, because he's the nicest, I guess. Or at least nice, but he's still in prison her, but nice, quote unquote. That's not what I meant. Leave it there. Well, we'll be back. Huh? Okay. Oh, this is Nelly, I guess, or at least previous incarnation of Nelly. Do you really have to go? Yeah, things are pretty hectic right now. I think, or I'm not sure actually. I don't know who you're talking to then. When do you suppose you'll be back? Tomorrow, same time as today. And you'll have enough time to talk then? Or maybe, well, I don't know. Is it Morgana or is it Nelly? I'm not sure because Nelly, she definitely has the hair, right? The flaxen hair or whatever. I don't know what color hair Morgana had. I mean, what we saw from her witch form anyway, it was like red, but I don't know. Will you? Yeah. Are you hiding something from me? You're acting kind of funny. You're my sister. I wouldn't keep anything from you. Okay, so no, it is Nelly. You're not. You're not yourself though. What's so different about me? Um. Well, you're not acting much like a prince. Ah, right, of course. Don't worry. I'm still your prince, same as always. Good night, Nelly. My princess? Okay, still the same name, by the way. Somehow. How did I end up in this mess? I never wanted this. All I wanted was a quiet life. Someone get me out of here. Take this thing somewhere far away. Tell me, I'm not the bad one here. Oh god, I'm begging you. Just make it all go away. Someone, anyone, get me out of here. Oh, none. Why does she immediately look suspicious? She reminds me of like Kiara or Kiara in a character in Fate Grand Order. He's also a nun, but like she's pure evil. Anyway, look, the stars, they're beautiful. Though it is so bright out, I worry someone might see us. Everyone's long gone. I hope so. Are you ashamed? A little, but I still want to be with you. Have you ever considered leaving the convent? You can't just stop being a nun. It's not that simple. I've made vows, sworn my life to the service of God. I was not aware. Well, now I'm getting Yuki Masa vibes. I might be wrong, but like, this is like Pauline, I think. Pauline and Yuki Masa. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I wish the game told me. This is question mark, question mark, question mark. I assume this is the beast. I was not aware. I don't know much about this land's traditions. If I were to leave the church, it would have to be my next life. I like to be a normal girl. Lead a normal life. Get married, have kids, and before I know it, I'm an old lady. Thinking, it was an uneventful life. It was the best I could have asked for. That's my dream. That sounds very peaceful. I hope we can be together in next lives too. Well, you see, I cut you down because I go crazy and I thought you were like a monster because I was a monster and I kill you. Don't worry about it. Have a nice quiet life together. It'll be a city on the water, looking out over a beautiful glimmering emerald sea. The blue sky spreading as far as the eye can see. The sound of the seabirds squalling by the port. The two of us sitting shoulder to shoulder, just looking out over the city. Does that sound wonderful? It certainly does. I would love that. Okay, I assume that's Yukimasa. Definitely like some allusions to how he's a stranger to these lands and everything, so I think that's Yukimasa. The Harvest Festival. On the city of the festival. Or on the... what? I don't know. Did I read that right? I think I read that wrong. Somehow. Well, 3 days until her death, apparently. Counting down is like Majora's Mask. When you think about it. I mean, it is true, actually. 3 days and then tragedy strikes. Because not only does she die, but everyone else does too. around her. On the I don't know why did I say on the city of the festival? I think I said that on the day of the festival is what I should say. Right? Wake up, please wake up. Come on, open your eyes, Michelle. Michelle. Okay. Ugh. Here's another. By the way, the visual novel UI has also changed yet again. By the way, yeah, it used to be like characters here and then there's text box here. Then it turned into like cards, I guess, giant cards, and now it's like this face on like this transparent text box with like some gradients to it. I don't know. They keep changing the UI. I don't know why. But let's see. So bright. I'm outside? The light feels like needles in my eyes. The first thing I see beyond the mansion's darkness is blinding light. The sun glares mercilessly overhead. A gentle breeze blows past. I can hear birds chirping from several different directions. Each breath I take fills my lungs with the scent of earth and grass. So much time has passed since I've been in the light. I almost feel like I'm alive again. No, not almost. What's going on? What on earth is this era Morgana lived? Or is this the era Morgana lived, rather? He's asking a question. It's a rhetorical question. Michelle. Huh? Oh, thank goodness, you can hear me. Okay, I'm your stan, by the way. It's like JoJo. I go, Oda, Oda, Oda. Good morning, master. I hope you slept well. Giselle, is that voice really you? I swear it's me 100%. Not that mean old phony. So don't worry. No, I believe it's you. I just was not expecting to be able to hear you here. I did say I would always be by your side. I'm relieved. But where are you, Giselle? I can't see you anywhere. Well, I'm not exactly sure myself. You don't know? I don't know how to describe it. It's pitch dark all around me, like black smoke churning in the darkness. It feels like a lot like inside the mansion. But I don't think I'm actually in the mansion. So you're still trapped in the void then. I can see a shivering light off in the distance through the fog. I can hear sounds coming from that direction. Okay, so we're basically having a phone call with Giselle in the other world, in the limbo. I don't know how to describe the supernatural elements of why we're here, and this is like the spirit world, but don't worry about it. It's like the outside world is leaking through the light. I can see trees rustling, hear birds singing. I can't see you though. So I assume I was seeing through your eyes. And I thought I'd try getting your attention. So that means you can see everything I can? Seems so. Though I don't think I can see quite as clearly as you. I wish you could be here to feel this too. Experience it in my place even. It's a bizarre sensation. While I could see and feel the wars through the other doors, it was strictly in the capacity of an observer. We were merely watching, not actually present in the tales. But this time, it's like I've been resurrected and dropped into the world as a participant. It's also vivid. Everything the mansion lacked, it's all here, and I can feel it so clearly. I wish you could be the one to experience this. It's okay, Michelle. I know you'll dispel this darkness I'm in, won't you? I will. I'm more than happy just being able to hear your voice. Being able to see what you see. It's like a miracle. I too am glad to know you're there. To have the chance to hear your voice again. Thank you so much for saving me. If you hadn't showed up, I wouldn't be here. Oh no, I should be thanking you. I was overjoyed to learn how much you really cared about me. There's so many things I want to say right now. So many things I want you to know. So many thank yous. And so many I love yous. Hey now, is that really the best response you've got? Surely you can do better than that. You're embarrassing me. How's it, Kashi? I am somewhat disappointed by one thing, though. I can't get any hugs or kisses since I'm not there in person. Oh, come on. You're not very good at this, are you? You're not very good at picking out how much you're embarrassing me. I expect the very least a me too. What do you say? We should start to figure out when and where exactly this is. You're not even trying, are you? I'm doing the best I can. Please, don't ask any more than this of me. It's okay, though. I might not be able to see you, but we're together either way. I'll be with you forever, you know, even when you go poop. I guess, I don't know, that'd be weird. Literally, no matter what, she's always there. No sense of privacy, ever. You know, Michelle. Then again, you know, do we need to poop as like a spirit thing? I guess as a ghost, you know? Maybe you don't need to poop as a ghost. Anyway. You know, Michelle, I think I might be able to help too. Well, I can't be that person. I can give you ideas, another point of view when you're not sure about something. For the two of us together, we'll find a way through this. Yes, we will. Where to begin? What do you say we get our bearings? List out exactly what we need to take care of. That's not a bad idea. I'm a bit frazzled at the moment, but to tell you the truth. What? Why? I had assumed we would just be observers, like with the other doors, searching their memories for clues. I never expected I'd actually be thrown into their era. True, it's not at all like the other doors. No matter how the rules may change, I'm seeing this through to the end. If our guess is correct, we have arrived at Morgana's past. Then we need to uncover the truth behind those events. Or rather, the three men's circumstances. What they felt, what drove them. My gut tells me there's something to be found there that even Morgana doesn't know. I could be wrong. It's possible that even if I am right, what we find won't do anything to quell her hatred. But we won't be talking her out of it, that's for sure. Words won't break through that kind of animosity. We need something bigger. Something she could never have imagined. Something that will turn her entire worldview on its head. The white-haired girl might be a good place to start. She showed up at the mansion again and again, as though led there by some supernatural force, and she was involved with all the three men in some way. I can't think of anyone else with such deep ties to both the mansion and the men. But at the same time, I have a hard time convincing myself that the Morgana we know and the white-haired girl could be the same person. They're about as different as two people can be. Which actually leads me to believe there's something there. There must be something. Some secret we haven't figured out yet that we can use. So let's find it. It won't be easy. If you are in the past though, I wonder maybe we could change it? This could be a huge chance for us. Change the past. You know, time travel. SighingSlider. Yeah, we could prevent Morgana's death, or we could stop whatever led them down this path. There's an idea. If it's actually possible, maybe we can do something. Wouldn't that assuming it would work. I don't think it is. I think this is, I don't know if this is real time travel. This is just like magic, I guess. But if you actually could prevent the whole tragedy in the first place with Morgana, and she lived like a normal life, then Michelle and Giselle and their whole struggle would be erased from existence, you know? They would just never existed in the first place, and then none of this would have mattered, I guess, if that actually happened, but I don't know. Anyway. The question is this world really... Oh, now I'm getting kind of pumped. I've got my game face on, I'm ready to do this. It doesn't do much if no one can see it. It's a figure of speech. Okay, first things first, we need to find the mansion. Morgana should be at the top of the observation tower, and the three men shouldn't be too far off either. So the question is, where are we? Do you recognize the surroundings at all? I've never really left the mansion, so I'm not especially familiar with the lay of the land. Give me a little spin, would you? You know, spin the camera. You know, she's basically backseating Michelle. As she requests, I slowly spin around in a circle, and through the dense woods, I spot a cluster of what appears to be stone formations. Squinting to get a better look, I realize they're buildings. It's decently far off, but it appears to be the edge of a city. I think that might be the village I stayed at for a while. It's a bit big for a village. Don't you remember what Amade said about the village's history? Amade, that bastard. Michelle, you didn't think something uncharacteristically vulgar just now, did you? Wouldn't dream of it. Okay. Yes, I remember. You said it was once much larger, and that it was destroyed in a single week by the witch's curse. Except rather than the curse, it was probably disease. If that's the same city, then it fits with what Morgana said happened. Okay, yeah, the plague and everything. Or at least, you know what, I call it a plague. It wasn't, you know, officially named a plague, but it was some kind of thing, you know, because of her, like, blood, I guess, got sick, and then everyone drank her blood like vampires, you know? You don't really think about it, it kind of is like vampires. I don't know. Human vampires, just like, no, not even like real vampires, not supernatural vampires, but rather just people drinking her blood, that's it. I believe he also said something about there being a large bridge in the outskirts of the city, and that that following the path from there would lead to the mansion. So let's head down to the city. Alright. You don't sound very enthusiastic. Are you nervous you might have to talk to someone? Don't worry, you've got me here. Don't treat me like I'm antisocial, but you are, though. You're not? No, that's not what's bothering me. It's something about this whole thing feels off. This world we're in. Never mind. I'm probably overthinking things, but now's not the time for that. We need to get moving. Let's go. Rather than waste time fretting over details, we need to get to the mansion like she said. Everything else comes after that. With each step, I can feel the earth compressing beneath my feet, the grass flattening. As I weave my way through the trees toward the city, the sensation of having a living, flesh and blood body slowly returns. Oh, here's Mel, okay. As in, like, wasn't that VTuber that's like a shark girl? She went and that became a meme, you know, for a while. Anyway. A white-haired man just appeared out of nowhere. Huh? And he's talking to himself. I gotta get away before he does something. Hold it right there, Mel. You don't get to call me crazy and just run off. How do you know my name? How? Why won't I? We were just in a mansion together. Huh? Mansion? What are you talking about? Oh. Right, he hasn't become the shadow of the mansion yet. I doubt I would forget seeing someone as unusual as you. Who are you? Where did you come from? Where? I'd like to know that myself. Say something, Michelle. He's not getting any less suspicious of you. You have to come up with some way to break the tension. Improvisation isn't exactly my strong suit. You get to choose? You get to choose. I'm God. I don't know if it matters. This is what I'm gonna say here. I don't think it matters. This is just silly. Let's just say, I'm God. I am God. Michelle, even I wouldn't believe you told me that. I already regret it. You're one of those pagan missionaries, aren't you? Here to spread the word of some other new god. And now he thinks I'm loony. I should get going. Hold on, you can't leave until I made a better impression. My parents raised me not to talk to scary people like you. I'm with you on that one, Mr. and Mrs. Rhodes. God, this is a disaster. I was joking. I didn't actually mean I was God. Stop looking at me like I'm mad. That still doesn't explain how you knew my name. Have you been stalking me? Why would anyone follow you around? It was all a coincidence. You look like a lot like an acquaintance of mine. So I imagine my surprise when it turns out you have the same name as him. Okay, we'll go for that for now. You'll probably trust a bear before me at this point. Anyway, it would seem like Morgana's, I'm the only one who can hear Giselle's voice. Regardless, you won't have any luck converting anyone here anyway. Again, I'm not... Wait, hold on. Why do you say that? Everyone around here worships the Saintess. Sometimes I think she's got more followers than God the Father himself. She's practically her own religious figure. The Saintess? You've never heard of her? She's a nun down at the church. Everyone calls her the Saintess. So he's not talking about Morgana. No, actually, I have heard tales of her. I would be surprised if you hadn't. Anyway, in a few days, we're going to hold a festival at the church to celebrate the spring harvest. So while that's going on, I don't think you have much luck proselytizing. I'm forever doomed to be a missionary's mind now, aren't I? I don't think it matters. Like if you pick the other one, I don't think it changes much. I don't know. It just seems like a joke, you know. It just seems like a joke choice. But when exactly is this harvest festival? In 3 days. You should stick around for it. 3 days. Morgana died when the bell tolled noon on the day of the festival, which means she's got that much time left. This will be the first time we've held the festival, so everyone's excited to make it a big event, something very memorable. And a young girl is dying behind the scenes of this seemingly pleasant celebration. If her death is 3 days from now, that might give us enough time to do something about it. Could I ask you to show me the way to the church? I would like to join in on the festivities. Sure, yeah. Of course. The church's doors are open to all, friends and family and heathen missionaries alike. It's not far, follow me. Thank you. It didn't occur to me till now, but this really is a strange experience. This is a boy from a completely different time period, who I've never had the opportunity to meet. If he's here, then presumably the other two are as well. Which means Morgana's wish for their reconstruction was actually granted. The smell doesn't seem like any different a person than the one I observed through the first door. Yet he played a part in Morgana's imprisonment. I have trouble believing he would voluntarily involve himself, though. I was scared for a minute there. That could have gone a lot worse. Plus, we managed to make contact with Mel in record time. She's interacted with him and the others before, so I guess this doesn't feel strange to her. You don't want him to hear you talking to yourself again? That's why you're not saying anything to me, isn't it? Actually, I think I can talk to you without speaking. I'll just use like mind powers. Can you hear me? How do you do that? You shouldn't have done that the first time. How are you doing that? I have a lot of experience talking to ghosts. I guess? That's how you do it? Just use telepathy. That really drives home how bizarre things were for you at the mansion. Were you not in similar circumstances when it was you and Morgana together? It was like 1,000 years, you know? You would have figured that out. Yeah, now that you mention it. What a bizarre time we've both had in that mansion, you know? For like literally 1,000 years. You're just now realizing this? So, what was your first impression of him? My impression? That he's the same Mel as always? In a little more detail? He's an amicable young man. Nice enough to show a complete stranger around. I agree. In Morgana's version of the story, he betrayed her. But he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would enthusiastically do something so malicious. He had to have some kind of reason. And we need to figure out what that was. The question is, how do we go about it? We hardly have enough time to earn his trust and convince him to tell us himself. I'll just have to put the knowledge I already have to good use. Oh, that reminds me. Something that might explain it? No, about Morgana. When you were alive, she was always right there with you, like I am right, or like I am now, right? Whenever it struck her fancy, yes. She didn't seem to care when or where, she would just start talking whenever she felt like it. Whenever? For the most part, yes, anytime she wanted. Giselle? You don't have to worry about that with me. I know when to keep my mouth shut, promise. What? You said you feel like you're alive again, right? My 5 senses all seem to be in working order. Which means you'll also be getting hungry, tired, sleepy, and you know. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know. You'll do the, you know. You'll just have to go to the bathroom. Or you'll have to go to the bathroom, yeah. I'll be polite and close my eyes and plug my ears while you're doing it. Thanks. What will possess her to bring that up? Does she even realize what she's saying? Oh gosh, now I'm as red as a tomato. That answers that. Moving right along. Just moving right along. We need to discuss how we're going to go about this. Right, that. The Harvest Festival is our deadline, which doesn't give us very much time. We need a plan for when we arrive at the mansion. But how about we spill their secret? Tell everyone about the girl they've got locked up in the tower and force them to set her free. Surely they want to stand for that? Perhaps, but would anyone believe me? A madman, you know, who said he was God. I believe, well, I don't know, I'm tempted to go back to check the other option. I don't think it would change much, We'll see. If it does change something down the line, I might go back. But otherwise, I'll just continue. I don't think it does anything. You know, it's like I don't imagine it to be like I was just sitting in the tree or something. That's it. You know, it'll probably just lead to the same dialogue anyway. If I walked in and said I came from the future and that I know what's going to happen, would anyone actually buy that? Sure, with enough convincing. Even if I did manage to convince them, the tower door was locked and Morgana's redemption to the tale. You need 3 keys to get inside. Mel should have one of them, but stealing his alone won't be enough to get into the tower. True. If Giselle's right and we can save Morgana and change the future, then that would indeed solve everything. But something about this whole situation still doesn't sit right with me. I have to do more than just set her free of that tower. I have to find the truth as well, as I initially set out to do. Regardless, I would like to try and stay on everyone's good side as much as possible for now. Okay, I'll do whatever I can to help. I appreciate it. I mean, as you know, conversations is not exactly my strong suit. Which means it's my job to hit the brakes whenever you say something stupid. It's a bit too late if I've already said it. Anyway, step 1 is to get ourselves into the mansion. We can't hope to make contact with the other 2 men, much less Morgana out of there, if we're not staying nearby. I'll do what I can. We're almost there. See the big building in the distance? That's the church. It is the same mansion as I suspected. Seeing it now, knowing what horrible things happened there, it's so disheartening. Are happening as we speak. In the tower we see in the distance, Morgana is locked up, all alone. I wish we could just march in there and set her free. Well, you gotta have at least level 80 in lockpicking, you know, to lockpick the doors and circumvent this entire side quest of getting all the keys. But anyway, if getting into the tower our only goal, we could probably force our way in with a little work. Is something the matter? Well, I could probably overpower him and get his key. Hello? But the other 2, that almost certainly wouldn't work for. Can you hear me? Oh, yes, sorry. I was lost in thought. Seems kinda strange, doesn't it? What does? I mean, it doesn't look much like a church. At a glance, you think it was some noble's estate. So it does. I spent so long there, it never even occurred to me. I was pretty surprised when I first saw it myself. A peculiar place all told. There's a chapel inside the mansion, with its gorgeous stained glass window. It's quite the sight. Do you know why it was built like that? I'm, not actually sure myself, no. Anyway, I'll show you to the chapel. The saintess should be there too, so I can introduce you. Alright. On our way to the mansion, we passed through a courtyard of sorts. When I lived there, or when I lived here rather, the area was overgrown with weeds. Apparently, they kept it in better condition this era. Following Mel's lead, we head through the chapel entrance. Oh my. I'm at a loss for words when I see what lies on the other side of these all too familiar doors. While it was barely recognizable as a place of worship in my memory, just 2 columns of battered pews and piles of rubble. The room I'm looking at now is unequivocally a chapel. So this is what it used to look like. I wonder how far back this is from when we lived. It has to be more than a decade or 2, maybe 100 years or more. The views and beliefs about the world prevalent in our time are not so different than those of this time. Perhaps the chapel was destroyed in the aftermath of the Harvest Festival. When I was first sent to the mansion, there were signs that repairs had been attempted. The stained glass window is behind the pulpit. I'm guessing, though, we can't see from here. And right next to it is the door to the observation tower. Ah, there she is. There's no priest here, she runs the church. You'll want to talk to her first if you're planning to participate in the Harvest Festival. I'll go fetch her for you. Whisking his way between the pews, the boy disappears to the back of the chapel, returning with a nun in tow. When I see her, my face twists for a brief moment. Good afternoon. You came to see the festival, I hear. It's wonderful to have you. Is that where I think it is? I'm not sure, actually. My first instinct was Pauline, but I'm not sure. I don't know if the characters recognize her as another character. Maybe I don't know. I'm almost certain at this point that all the major players from behind the 3 doors are present here. Not just the 3 men whose shadows remain in the mansion, but also the women who are important parts of their lives. Though dressed differently, the way she speaks, the way she holds herself resembles the woman killed by the lover behind the 2nd door. Okay, I am right. It's hard to tell, you know, it's a visual novel, so you don't really see, like, you know, every aspect of the person, just the art, you know, and just text. So it's hard to, like, dig up the clues, the implications of what they're trying to say, you know, through the writing. But you know, it's cool. I actually prefer it that way. You know, I like it when the writing is subtle, though. You know, I don't like it when it's like, hey, by the way, it's Pauline. You know, I wouldn't like that. I would prefer if they kept it, you know, just hint towards it rather than simply say it straight out in the beginning. But anyway, but yeah, it is Pauline. Pauline as a nun, as it turns out. They're all connected. What we thought were 3 separate tales, all stretched back to a single point in time before our own. You know, what I wonder now is where's Maria? You know, where's Maria? Because Maria is, let's just say, a little psychotic. So I don't know if she's gonna stir up any trouble. I don't think she was mentioned in the original story that Morgana told us, I think. But apparently everyone is here, you know, so there should be a Maria, right? I don't know. Anyway, they all switch by a single point in time. Did I read that? I don't know if I read that. I'm gonna say it again. They're all connected. We thought it was 3 separate tales, all stretched back to all stretched back into a single point in time before our own. Is there something the matter? No, I was just thinking how unusual it is for one nun to be managing the entire church all by herself. Yes, that's the usual reaction from new visitors. Even I think this assignment is a bit over my head. Assignment? Well, I was at another church before this one. A smaller building, and I wasn't the only nun. But the Lord of the Land ordered me to transfer to a new, larger church she was opening. So here I am. The Lord. There's plenty of space in the property, more than enough to provide shelter for orphan children and aid for the sick. It seems rather vacant from what I've seen. Yes, about that. We used to take people in, but circumstances have made that difficult of late. What kind of circumstances? It's not something I can discuss with an outsider, sorry. I'm guessing it has to do with Morgana's imprisonment here. Do you think she knows about Morgana? I would guess not. The men swore to keep it between the 3 of them. So she's being forced to oversee the mansion completely oblivious what's happening here. Which is to say she's not connected to it in some way. If she's the girl from the 2nd tale, then she should be close with. Is something troubling you? No, my apologies. I got lost in thought. I do that a lot. You don't look it, but you're actually a bit of a daydreamer, aren't you? Daydreamer? Mel would fit that description much better. What? Why? Do I really look that much of an airhead? Oh, I can see that. Someone has to watch out for him, or he's likely to lose his head in the clouds. I really don't think I'm that spacey. I'm not trying to say you're spacey. I just feel like I've got to keep one eye on you at all times. It's not like what I imagined having a little brother would be like. I'm the oldest child, you know. What's the big deal? You don't want a big sister? Well, I want you to be my little brother. I don't want to be just a capital S sister to you. Okay. Ara? That's so stiff and formal. No, I will be your sister. I'm a little old to be playing make-believe. Oh, come on. They're quite friendly with one another, it would seem. Oh, I know. Why don't you become her brother then? What? Will you? I will not. Besides, I'm clearly the oldest one here. Why not? I don't think it matters who's older than who. You don't really act all that old anyway. I have at least 10 years on you. Your youngest child insecurity is showing. Yeah, that's true. He is the youngest brother. Insecurity? You two are pretty good friends, huh? Oh, we just met. We can discuss the veracity of that claim later. I would like to ask you a favor. What is it? I'll gladly help with anything I can. Could I perhaps borrow a room until the day of the Harvest Festival? I don't have anywhere to stay, or a source of income for that matter. I know I'll be taking advantage of your generosity, but I only mean to intrude for a few days. I would be more than happy to offer you a place to stay at any other time, but right now I can't let you stay here. I'm so sorry. Well, damn. So much for that. Don't let one little no stop you. Keep pushing. Put on a show. Earn her sympathy. She's a lady of the cloth. If you make her feel bad for you, she'll offer you her aid. Just manipulate her. Put on a show? You expect me to act? I'm having another episode. I was so sure this church would be able to help. That's not gonna convince anyone. Quiet you. He was perfectly fine our work here. Shut your mouth, boy. As I said, we did once offer a place of respite for... a respite? Or respite? I think it's respite. A place of respite for the ailing and needy. But regrettably, for the time being, we are unable to take anyone in. What I can do is, though, is give you medicine. Since we can't let people stay here, the Lord's generous assistance, we've been handing out medicine instead. Full of blood. So all you do here, then, is give people medication? Yes, I suppose that's what it boils down to. I'm honestly not sure why we're not allowed to offer shelter right now, but we are still able to provide assistance to those in need, so... I assume it's just a temporary measure, and we'll be able to take people in again before long. And with how much he's done for the church, it's not really my place to complain about his decisions. I truly am sorry. I hope you understand. I'm supposed to ask for a tithe. I'm supposed to ask for a tithe? I'm gonna say a tithe? Which is, you know, money, basically. Supposed to ask for money. Ask for a tithe in exchange, normally. But just this once, it's yours, free of charge. Yeah, it's a free sample. To get you addicted to the drugs, and then it's like a drug dealer. Could you tell me more about this medicine, please? Well, it's called Saint's Blood, and it'll cure any disease. Saint's Blood. It's not real blood, of course. That's just what it's called. If only you knew. It sure sounds divine, isn't it? No, that's not true. Huh? It is real blood. What do you... Sorry about it. Do you mind if I bring him back to my room? I don't think I mentioned it, but he is an old friend of mine. We've got a lot of catching up to do. Alright. Come on, this way. Well, that sure got quite the reaction out of him. Now he's incredibly leery of you. When she mentioned the blood, I couldn't stop myself. I probably should have kept my mouth shut, though. Okay, what's gonna happen? Who knew? Mel doesn't say a word the entire way. His smile has retreated, and there's a hint of fear lurking beneath his now stony expression. I spend the trek through the mansion's corridors, pondering how to answer the questions I know are coming. How to solve the problem I put myself in. We enter a bedroom, presumably his, and he closes the door behind us. I can see the distrust in his eyes as he glares at me. I have to ask. Who exactly are you? Why did you say that back there? That Saint's blood is actual blood. The response was pressing. I can choose options. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe it does matter, like, these, like, choices kind of, like, add up, and you get different endings for it. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna save. Again, I don't know if it matters. Like, if I get, like, a bad ending or a good ending, depending on what I choose. Like, I'm not sure what to do, though, to get, like, a good or a bad ending. I don't know. You know, I'm just gonna... I mean, I kind of want to get a bad ending first, so I can do the other ending later, if there is such things. But let's choose the crazy options first, you know? Let's just do the ones that I think is a horrible idea. Let's do that first. Ironically, it might give me a good ending instead. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's just tell him everything. Just be a crazy person, tell him everything. I went to the past, and now you were in the mansion, and there's like this there's like Morgana, and there's like this witch thing. There's like this cursed house, like those 1,000 years reincarnation. My girlfriend was like a maid, like immortal maid thing for a while. You get all that, Mel? No, I know Mel feels immense remorse about his involvement in Morgana's imprisonment, so I decide it's best to tell him everything. His shade the mansion begged for me to save him. If he knows what I know, maybe this smell will seek my help as well. Perhaps I'm being rash, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, I'm never sure if it's right or wrong. I don't know. Alright, I'll tell you everything. It might sound crazy, but I promise you, everything I'm about to tell you is the truth. I'm not from this time. Every time travel story is like that, isn't it? It's like, I'm not from this time, and nobody believes them. What? I've come here from a point in time after Morgana's death. I'm the ghost of Christmas future. Woo! How do you know about... I know everything. Morgana told me what happened here, what will happen here. You and 2 other men imprisoned her at the top of the observation tower, eventually leading to her death. At this point in time, she should still be alive, but she will not be for much longer. When the bell tolls noon on the day of the Harvest Festival, Morgana's life will come to an end. And when she dies, she will do so at the grips of overwhelming hatred, a hatred that will transform her soul into a true witch. The 3 of you will become the targets of that hatred, the targets of her curse. And by the power of that curse, you will be drawn back to this place in your next lives, where great suffering and misery awaits you. Everything you're saying is going right over my head. Our next lives, her soul, a witch. Every word of it is true. Did anything I say contradict your experiences? The 3 of you have Morgana imprisoned in the tower. You drain her of her blood, which you then claim is a medicine called Saint's Blood, which you give out in exchange for Tice. Or Tis? Tis? I don't know. Am I wrong about any of that? I'm here to save Morgana, to set her free of that tower and her hatred, which will consequently set your souls free as well. I know you're not proud of what you've done. Lend me your hand in freeing Morgana, and tell me your story. Tell me how you came to be involved in her imprisonment. This is not the path you wish to take, I'm certain of that. You wanted blood for your sister, yes, but you're not the kind of man who would think severing another's arm was acceptable. You had to have some kind of reason for it. Please, give me your assistance, tell me your tale. Saving her will save you too. I only want what's best for you. Could you give me a moment? This is all too sudden. I am having trouble wrapping my head around it. But I do get one thing, that you know what we've been doing. Give me some time to process it. I'll have an answer for you tonight. Please. I'll make the right decision. I just need time to convince myself. I understand. Wait here until I come back, would you? It's almost sundown, so it shouldn't be long. Tonight, I'll tell you what I can. Once I've made sense of everything, I'm sure I'll be able to shake hands. So just relax here for a bit. I'll be waiting. Thanks. See you tonight. Tonight. Did we do the right thing? I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna come back as like, hey, by the way, I'm helping you. Or he's gonna come back and, hey, by the way, here's my friend Yukimasa. He has a big sword. He's gonna murder you now. Well, he seemed to believe it. Well, thankfully, I was worried he wouldn't. I knew he wasn't happy being part of this. He desperately wanted out. And you gave him that opportunity. I can only hope. He said he'd help, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt and see what happens when he comes back. Perhaps I'm just being paranoid, but it feels like that went over too easily. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. No, I made the right decision.